I don't feel that I should have to pay her spousal support. I've been with her since I was 14 years old. I took care of 3 kids that didn't belong to me. I put them on a school every morning for the bus. I cooked their dinner every night before they went to bed. I bathed them. And I've been doing this for 9 years. I mean, I didn't graduate high school. I've been with this woman all my life, my childhood life. I feel
Why weren't you going to school?
Because I was with her.
But you were still a child. How you going to take care of 3 kids at 14?
I don't know, Your Honor.
You quit going to school altogether?
Yes, ma'am. And when I tried to go back to school, she didn't want me to go.
What were your parents?
My mother didn't agree with the relationship at first, and I turned against what my mother said and moved away with Helen all the way to the country, away from where we stayed at. And I stayed down in the country.
Just got real excited because you got to puberty, huh?
Yeah, and I had an older woman interested in me.
Oh.
I guess it just went to my head.
What were you giving them? What could you provide them?
I don't know. Probably a babysitter.
Or your body, huh?
No.
Not that either? So to be the babysitter, she married you? You think that was the only reason?
I don't know, Your Honor.
And these 3 kids were hers?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have kids together?
One. The last one.
So you don't think that you should pay her any support now because you've been supporting her for the last 9 years?
I mean, I wasn't able to work because I was too young to work.
Right.
But I stayed there with the kids when she was at work. I got them dressed for school, and I took care of them all day long while she was working.
So have you gone back to school?
No, Your Honor.
You still don't have a high school diploma?
No, Your Honor.
Ooh. Now, I don't really have the power to do this, but I'm going to strongly suggest, Mr. Gray, that you now take some time to do something for yourself.
I will,
and
Your Honor.
that you get back in school and at least get your high school equivalency diploma. It's called GED. They do offer that down in North Carolina, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I really strongly suggest that you do that because now you can't blame her, right?
No, ma'am.
Because the marriage is ending.
Yes.
Right? What about that, Mrs. Gray? What's he talking about?
He is lying, Your Honor. I
Oh,
have been
goodness.
with him.
Can't you guys be more original than that? He is lying.
He is lying. He the one that pushed for this relationship. He got mad at me because I didn't want to marry him in the beginning because I told him he was not ready for that responsibility. He
How
knew
did you get
that.
hooked up with him in the first place?
He the one that kept coming to my house.
Okay.
Kept looking for me.
So he came to your house looking for you. How old were you?
I was 22. I had just got out of a bad relationship.
And when you were 22 and this little boy, that's all he was.
That's all he
kept
was.
coming to your house
And I told
looking
him
for
from the
you.
beginning.
Why couldn't you push him away? Why couldn't you send that child on his way?
Because I had just got out of a bad relationship and he knew that and he just took that
You
upon
knew that
himself.
too. You
Yes,
knew
I
that.
did. Yes, I did.
And so what could this little kid provide for you?
Because he was telling me everything I wanted to hear.
A child, Mrs.
Yes.
Gray?
He has a very good talk game. Very good.
Mrs. Gray, I don't care if he talks as much as Einstein knew math. He was still 14 and you were 22. Now, what could he talk and say that he's going to do for you that would cause you to marry him?
But he lied to me about his age. That's how all this started. He told me he was 18. When I found out how old he really was, I was already 5 months pregnant.
No, Your Honor.
So you didn't even bother to find out and verify?
When I found out about it, it was too late. I was already pregnant.
How long? So you, in other words, you started having sex before you even knew the man's age?
No. He waited 2 years. We waited 2 years before this happened.
Damn, this was tough to watch. Engaged when he was 14 and she was 22. Make that shit make sense. Well, this is an old episode of Divorce Court, but no less the teachable moment, Kings. So that being said, I'm going to speak as if I were actually in charge of this guy, this victim. Of course, I'd want a mental evaluation of him off the rip to see if he was challenged. First things first. Get a copy of your birth certificate, verification of addresses lived and school records. Then do the same for Miss Helen Gray. Secure her birth certificate, places of residence, work records and medical as it pertains to the child she had with her victim. The idea is to establish their cohabitation and the paternity of the child. Then consult an attorney to establish the legality of taking an underage child across state lines for prurient reasons. See if the Mann Act can't be enacted. For those not in the know, this law was created to criminalize heavyweight champion Jack Johnson, who was arrested twice for transporting a woman across state lines for immoral purposes. By the way, he was pardoned in 2018 after 105 years. It's a stretch, but would be a start, as this woman has admitted on television to taking a minor across state lines and eventually having a child with him. This episode of Divorce Court with B Exhibit A, she knowingly confessed to grooming and having illegal relations with a minor. At 14 years, this man was not able to give legal consent. As far as I know, there is no statute of limitation on cases involving child abuse and assault. Thus, this woman must be prosecuted under the law and preferably thrown under the jail. Miss Helen Gray is a pedophile. Particularly disturbing is the television judge's reaction to this obvious crime. Her playful tone is out of pocket and egregious. It's not said but implied that a lesser lens is placed over the crime due to the gender and ethnicity of the victim. His experience, the crime committed against him, is pretty much rug-swept and treated like a joke. The judge even jokes around with the abuser and her victim. I'd like to say it reads as cringe in this day and age circa 2024, but alas, that is not in the cards. Biological men are not seen as victims because of their plumbing downstairs. This is an enduring travesty. Even worse, nothing is made of the fact that Helen Gray is suing her victim for spousal and child support. The man she sexually assaulted when he was 14. Going back to that judge, Mablian Ephraim, she sits there joking about the sexual prowess of the victim with his abuser. I'd call for her to be disbarred if she were actually a real judge. That's right, it's all fucking fake. Mablian Ephraim is an actress from Hazlehurst, Mississippi, raised in motherfucking California. She was never a judge, simply a prosecuting attorney. She's been regularly employed in her judge persona by Tyler fucking Perry in his shitty Madea movies.
But wait, there's more.
A former Texas teacher is accused of having sexual relationships with multiple students. Jaden Renee Charles, 24, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and 2 counts of grooming. Her bond was set at $400,000, according to jail records. Alice Chief of Police Eden Garcia told Scripps News Corpus Christi that Charles told arresting officers she was pregnant when she was taken into custody. She has resigned from teaching with the Agua Dulce Independent School District as a middle school science teacher. Authorities said there may be 12 alleged victims in the case. Agua Dulce City Marshal Joe Martinez confirmed that the investigation into the teacher began when a student was caught with a vape on campus. The district brought several students and teachers to discuss this situation, and during that meeting, they were told that Charles provided the student with the vape. Through their investigation, they learned that Charles may have provided vapes with THC to several students. Martinez also said officials interviewed 5 different male students, 4 of whom confirmed improper relationships, and that Charles was providing THC vapes and alcohol to some students. Garcia said they have obtained video of Charles with a student at an Alice hotel, but they cannot confirm what took place there. Police don't believe any sexual activity took place on the school campus.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.